Hey Liz, this is Pete. So here's what I want to do. I want to share with you real quick what you did, right? A version of what you did. And then I'm going to show you a few ways that you can really improve it and bring it together, okay? So let's start with where you were, all right? The first thing with where you were is it wasn't interesting. There was nothing to look at. Now, I don't want people to look at something and have it be so interesting that they're not looking at me, right? But at the same time, I don't just want this like white screen right behind me, right? And there's just nothing to see. It just starts to look very boring, okay? So a good background will help. And it doesn't mean that you have to go out and get like this great scenery or anything like that. You can do something very simple, just putting up maybe a picture or two behind you. The second thing is, if you listen to me right now, my voice doesn't echo. And that's because of the car that I'm in. It's got angles, right? It's catching the sound. You sounded like you were in a box, like literally a square box with nothing, like a brand new house, right? Where you walk in and you're like, hello, 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 hello. And it just echoes, okay? So that's another thing, that if you put yourself in a different location, the sound is going to be better. And man, sound is everything when it comes to trying to get your message across, right? Because if it's hard for people to listen to, if it's tingly, if it's loud, if it's rah 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 weird like that, then people are just going to tune out and they're going to be like, whatever. She's not that serious because I can't hear her. Now, that doesn't mean if you're doing an on location shoot with your iPhone, right? And you're like, look, here's a house that we just bought. That's totally, totally different. But what you were just making was more like an introduction video, okay? So that's important that you connect with them and that you want them to engage with you and listen to you, right? The next thing is exactly what Ivan said, and I'm sure probably a few other people said, was the whole time you were looking like, well, actually you were probably looking like this at yourself, right? And it's because you're like, okay, well, is my hat straight, right? Well, you weren't saying hat because you didn't have a hat on, but it's that same type of thing. And you're concerned about, like Ivan said, what you look like, instead of really concerning on yourself with connecting with the audience, okay? The other thing, and man, I'm hoping you're asking for all these things, but you did really good. So I want you to know that you did really good. All I'm doing is doing a little bit of tweaking just to make it just amazing, all right? So here's another thing. When you were talking, your voice kind of went up and then down. It just kept going like this, kept going like this, kept going like this. And the problem with that is, if you notice, my voice keeps going up and down, right? I want to bring you and pull you into the conversation. And the only way I'm going to do that is through making it, showing you what I want you to feel through my voice almost, right? Now, it doesn't mean, obviously, everybody is not like me. They're not going to animate like me. They're not going to do everything that I do. So you got to do it to your degree. But what you want to do is act like you're talking to somebody and bring them in. Pretend like you're talking to one person when you're talking. Like right now, I'm talking to you. Now, I know a ton of other people are going to watch the video, but it doesn't really matter. When I do the morning videos, a lot of times I'm talking to either myself, or I'm talking to my girls, or I'm talking to my wife, or I'm talking to a friend of mine that I just talked to that is going through something, but it's one individual that I'm referring to, that I'm talking to, that I'm really trying to connect with. Everybody else that is in that same situation or can relate to it, they're going to connect as well, right? Because you're that connection thing is happening. Then the way that you started out the video was great. You started asking questions, but you asked like 10 of them or 12 of them, right? Like I think almost half the video was you asking questions about, do you hate your life? Do you want to jump off a cliff? Do you have money problems, right? All these problems. Now, what you want to do is cue into 2 or 3 really, really good questions, right? Now, if you're looking, whatever you're specifically looking for, now here's the cool part. If you had like, say you go, well, Pete, I've got like 12 things that I want to talk about, or 10 things that I want to talk about. Great. Make 3 videos, make 4 videos, just make a few more videos. If you ask too many questions, people are going to get confused by what you're really asking of them, okay? So you want to just start off by saying, hey, look, do you have a property in Memphis that you want to sell? Are you looking to get out of problems? And I don't know exactly what your specifics are, right? But let's say are you looking for a property? Do you want to sell your property, right? Because you're looking to buy a property. Do you want to find a property? Maybe you're looking to sell properties too, right? Are you an investor looking to find a property and you just can't seem to find one anywhere here in Memphis? Are you a homeowner and you're looking to sell your property and man, you were having the toughest time getting your message out there that you want to sell your property? And maybe there's one other thing, maybe it's, or are you looking to be an out-of-state investor? And you don't want to say hi, just say, I'm Liz, with Memphis, whatever your company name is, XYZ company. I'm Pete Asmus with XYZ company, and I can help. This is what I do. I solve people's problems. I've solved people's problems and now you can go through your list, but you're saying it in an affirmative way that you've solved it, as opposed to, do they have all these issues, where you're just reminding them of how much their life sucks, right? You want to get off of that negative part and jump onto the positive part. And that's going to be a lot of where you're saying, look, I've helped people change their life. I've helped people acquire a property. I've helped people get their first investment property. I've helped, you're doing all these things. You're overcoming what their fears are in the message. And then the other thing is, and I'm a little bit long here, I'm already at 6 minutes, but this is because it's directly, pointed at you. The other part is, you want to make it between 90 and really 120 seconds. You don't want it to be long, because if it's really long, people just won't watch it. If it's 10 minutes, people have no desire. And that's if they're just browsing through social media, right? So if they're browsing through social media and they see something and it's like 60 to 90 seconds, maybe 120 on the outside, they'll click because they have a minute or two, right? What they don't have is 10 minutes, because they're going to go, oh man, then I'm going to get sucked into this and then da-da-da-da-da. So that kind of thing, if you go into longer, that's going to be something that people opt in for. Anyways, thank you so much. I hope this helped. Have a great day. Bye. And as always, go make something happen.